Hello to all our wonderful listeners. A very big, warm welcome back to Talk Confident. I am Sophie, and I am so happy to be sitting here with you today.
And I am Alex. Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here. I hope you are having a calm and happy week.
We really hope so. Alex, I have to ask you something. How is your spirit today? Do you feel energetic, or are you in a slow, relaxed mood?
That is a nice question, Sophie. Today, I feel very loose.
Loose? Like a noodle?
Yes, like a cooked noodle. I feel relaxed. No stress, just comfortable.
That sounds wonderful. I feel a little bit excited today. I had a very strong coffee this morning.
Ah, the coffee energy. Be careful, Sophie. Don't speak too fast.
I will try to be slow, I promise.
Good. We like slow here.
We do. And Alex, your loose feeling is actually perfect for our topic today.
Really? Why is that?
Because today we're talking about two different worlds.
Two worlds?
Yes, the world of the classroom and the real world.
Ah, the textbook versus the street.
Exactly. We're talking about why real English sounds so different from school English.
This is a huge topic. Students ask me about this every day.
They say, Sophie, I studied English for 10 years, but when I watch a movie, I understand nothing.
It is a terrible feeling. You feel lost.
So today, we are going to explain why, and we are going to help you understand the real English.
It is going to be a fun conversation. So if you want to understand real people, please subscribe to our channel, Talk Confident.
Yes, click that subscribe button. And if you have ever felt confused by real English, please click the like button.
It helps us know what you need, and we love helping you.
Okay, Alex, let's start with a classic example.
The greeting.
Yes. In school, in the classroom, what is the first phrase we learn?
Hello, how are you?
And what is the answer?
I am fine, thank you. And you?
Perfectly said. I am fine, thank you. And you?
It sounds nice. It is polite. It is grammatically perfect.
But Alex, when was the last time you said that in real life?
Maybe never?
Never.
Well, maybe to my grandmother, but to my friends, no.
Exactly. If I say to you, hello, Alex, how are you? What do you really answer?
I usually say, good, you?
Good. You? That's it?
That's it. 2 words.
Or sometimes just not bad.
Not bad. Or, all right.
All right. So in the classroom, we learn a long, full sentence. I am fine, thank you.
But in real life, we want to be fast. We want to be casual.
So we chop the sentence. We cut it.
We cut the I am. We cut the thank you.
We just say the feeling. Good, tired, busy.
So lesson number 1, real English is short.
Very short. It is not rude, it's just real.
And Sophie, there's another big difference. It's about how the words sound.
Oh yes, the music of the language.
In the classroom, the teacher speaks very, very clearly.
Like this. Do you want a cup of coffee?
Every word is separate, like bricks on a wall.
But in real English, what happens?
We smash the bricks together.
We smash them?
Yes, we push the words together until they become one long sound.
So, do you want a cup of coffee becomes,
You want a cup of coffee?
do you want a cup of coffee? That sounds like a different language.
It does, but let's look at it closely. Do you becomes dia.
Dia.
Want to becomes wanna.
Wanna. I hear wanna all the time in movies.
Yes, I wanna go. I wanna eat. It is very common.
And cup of becomes cuppa. Cuppa.
A cup of tea, a cup of coffee.
So if a student is listening for cup of, they will miss it.
They will wait for the clear words, but the clear words never come.
That's why they feel lost. They're waiting for the robot, but the human is speaking mush.
Mush. That's a good word. Soft, mixed food. Real English is mushy.
So, do we need to speak like this? Do I have to say wanna?
No, you don't have to. You can speak clearly, that's fine.
But you have to understand it.
Exactly. You must train your ears to hear the mush.
Okay, Alex, let's talk about grammar.
Oh, grammar, the favorite subject of every student.
Grammar is the king in the classroom.
The king. You must follow the rules. Subject, verb, object.
I am going to the store.
Perfect. But in real conversation, grammar often goes on holiday.
It goes on holiday.
Yes, it takes a break. For example, in a real conversation, we often drop the start of the sentence.
Can you give me an example?
In class, have you seen that movie?
Have you seen that movie? Correct.
In real life, seen that movie?
Seen that movie? We lost have you.
Yes, we just throw it away because it's obvious.
Another example?
In class, are you hungry?
Are you hungry?
In real life, you hungry?
Or even just hungry?
Yes, just one word, hungry? And you answer, starving.
Starving.
If you write hungry on a test in school, you get a big red X.
The teacher says, where is the verb? Where is the subject?
But in the street, it is perfect communication.
It is efficient.
Efficient, that is the key word. Real English likes to be fast and easy.
So, we have short greetings, we have mushed words, we have dropped grammar. What else makes real English difficult?
I think it is the noise.
The noise. You mean traffic?
No, I mean filler words.
Ah, the words that mean nothing.
Exactly. In a textbook dialogue, nobody says,
No, they speak perfectly. A, B, A, B.
But listen to us, even now, we say, like.
Well, actually,
These words are fillers. They fill the silence while we think.
it's like the loading wheel on your computer.
Yes, means my brain is loading, please wait.
But for a student, these words are confusing.
They try to translate them. They hear like and they think, like? To enjoy? I like apples.
But the person is saying, it was like totally crazy.
Here, like means nothing. It is just decoration.
So if you try to translate every like, you will go crazy.
Totally crazy. You have to learn to ignore them.
Ignore them.
Yes, filter them out. They are not the message.
That's hard to do.
It takes practice, but once you know they are garbage words, it's easier.
Garbage words. Poor words. But it is true. They don't carry meaning.
Sophie, I want to talk about feelings.
Feelings?
Yes, classroom English is usually very neutral.
Neutral. No emotion.
The book is on the table. The pen is blue.
Very calm, very boring.
But real English is full of emotion.
We use our voices to show feelings, up and down.
We shout, we whisper, we laugh.
And we use slang.
Slang, the colorful words.
In school, you learn, I am very tired.
In real life, you might say, I'm beat,
I'm beat, or I'm wrecked.
or I'm shattered.
These words have feeling. I'm beat sounds much more tired than I am tired.
It paints a picture. Real English loves pictures.
In school, you learn, that is very good.
In real life, that's awesome. That's sick.
Sick? But sick means ill.
In slang, sick means amazing. That car is sick.
See, this is why students freeze. They hear sick and they look for a doctor.
But the speaker is just happy about the car.
So slang is a big difference. Do beginners need to learn slang?
No, not yet.
Good. That's a relief.
Stick to standard English first, but be ready to hear slang.
Don't be surprised.
Exactly. If you hear a word you don't know, it might be slang.
Just ask, what does that mean?
Most people love explaining their slang. It makes them feel cool.
It makes them feel cool. That is true.
Sophie, there's one more big difference, and it's about interrupting.
Interrupting, speaking when the other person is speaking.
Yes, in classroom dialogues, student A speaks, then stops, then student B speaks.
It is very polite, very organized.
But in real life, it's a mess.
A beautiful mess.
We talk over each other.
We say, yeah, right, really? While the other person is talking.
We call this active listening.
If I sit here completely silent while you talk,
I will think you are sleeping or angry.
or bored,
So I need you to make noise. Yeah, okay.
in some cultures, this is rude, but in English, it's supportive.
It means I'm with you, keep going.
So real conversations are noisy, two people making sounds at the same time.
It's like a dance, a messy dance.
But in school, you learn to be quiet.
So students are often too quiet in real life. They wait for the perfect pause.
But the pause never comes.
Exactly. You have to jump in. You have to make noise.
So, Alex, all of this sounds a little bit scary.
Scary? Why?
Because it means the rules we learned are not always true.
I understand that fear. You want the rules to be solid, like a rock.
But real language is like water. It flows. It changes shape.
That's a beautiful image. It is water. You cannot hold it tight.
So, what should our listeners do? Should they burn their textbooks?
No, don't burn your textbooks.
Textbooks are useful.
They give you the foundation, the skeleton.
You need the skeleton. You need to know, I am fine, thank you.
Before you can say, I'm good, you need to know the correct way.
You have to learn the rules before you can break them.
Exactly, like an artist. Picasso learned to draw perfectly realistic faces first.
And then he drew the crazy faces.
Yes, so respect the classroom English. It is your base.
But don't stay in the classroom forever.
Open the window, listen to the street.
Listen to podcasts like this one.
Watch interviews on YouTube, not scripted movies, interviews.
Why interviews?
Because in interviews, people are thinking, they're using filler words, they're interrupting.
That's a great tip. Real people talking naturally.
And don't try to be perfect.
Oh, perfection. The enemy.
In school, 90% is an A, 50% is a failure.
In real life, if you say, coffee please, and you get coffee, that's 100%.
That's an A+. You communicated, you got the coffee.
Even if you didn't say, may I please have a cup of coffee?
Exactly. The goal of real English is connection, not perfection.
Connection, not perfection. We say that a lot here.
Because it is the truth.
So, Alex, I want to try a little experiment with you.
I'm ready. What is the experiment?
I'll be the classroom robot. You be the real human.
Okay, robot versus human. Let's go.
Hello, Alex. Do you want to go to the cinema with me this evening?
Hey, yeah, sounds good. Want to catch a movie tonight?
That would be very agreeable. What time shall we meet?
Cool. What time works for you?
I am available at 7 o'clock.
Perfect. See you then.
See you then.
And you said I'm available, very formal.
I felt like I was writing a business letter.
And I felt like I was relaxing on a sofa.
Did we understand each other?
Yes, perfectly.
But the feeling was very different.
Very different. The real human style creates a friendship. The robot style creates distance.
That's the key point. If you speak too formally, people feel a distance.
They might think you're cold or serious.
So learning real English helps you make friends.
It makes you warmer.
So, Alex, what about pronunciation? We talked about mush. Is there anything else?
Yes, the schwa.
The schwa. What is that? A tropical fruit?
No, not a fruit. It's a sound, the most common sound in English.
What does it sound like?
It sounds like a little grunt.
That's it?
That's it.
In the classroom, we pronounce every vowel clearly. A-E-I-O-U.
Banana. Banana.
In real life, we turn many vowels into a.
So banana becomes banana.
Banana.
Listen to the A's. They are soft. They are lazy.
Tomorrow. In class, tomorrow.
In real life, tomorrow.
Not toe.
Exactly. This is the schwa. It makes English flow fast.
If you try to say tomorrow with a strong O, it sounds robotic.
And it is hard to do. It takes too much muscle.
So real English is actually lazy English.
In a way, yes. We want to do the minimum work with our mouths.
That's funny. So be lazy to sound native?
Be lazy in the right places. Use the sound.
So teacher, not teacher, teacha.
Doctor, not doctor, docta.
Wow. Once you hear it everywhere.
Everywhere. It's the secret glue of English.
So listeners, don't try to pronounce every letter perfectly.
Relax your mouth. Let the vowels become
It will make your speaking much smoother.
and much faster.
So, Alex, I think we have given our friends a lot to think about today.
We have. We talked about greetings, mushed words, dropped grammar, fillers, slang, interruptions, and the lazy schwa.
That's a full menu.
It is. But please, don't panic.
No, you don't have to learn all this today.
Just be aware. Open your ears.
Next time you watch a movie or hear a song, listen for the wanna. Listen for the
And when you hear it, smile. Say, ah, I know what that is. That's real English.
It is not a mistake. It is reality.
And reality is beautiful.
It is. Alex, do you have a favorite real English word? One that you use all the time?
I think I use cool a lot.
Cool.
It's an old slang, but we still use it. That's cool. He's cool. Cool.
It's a very useful word. It means good, okay, nice, no problem.
Exactly.
It is a very useful word. It means good, okay, nice, no problem.
Exactly. Can you come at 7? Cool.
I think my favorite is no worries.
No worries. That is very friendly.
Thank you, no worries. Sorry, no worries.
It is very comforting. It says everything is fine.
And everything is fine. Your English is fine.
You are doing a great job. Learning a language is hard work.
But it is also a joy.
Warm tone. Friends, we want to hear from you.
Yes. Tell us about your experience. Have you ever been confused by real English?
Did someone say wanna to you and you didn't understand?
Or did you learn a phrase in a textbook that nobody uses?
Tell us in the comments below. We love your stories.
Your stories help other learners feel less alone.
Yes, when we share our struggles, we become stronger.
And if you enjoyed this conversation, please remember to subscribe to Talk Confident.
And give us a thumbs up. It tells YouTube that slow, friendly English is good.
And we think it is very good.
Thank you for spending your time with us. We appreciate you.
Have a wonderful, relaxed, and real week.
Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep smiling.
See you next time. Bye for now.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care.